Naylis being his wife, his legitimate queen. So obviously, after Naylis fell pregnant and died in 161, King Baelor sent Aegon to Braavos on a diplomatic mission. Accounts of the time suggest it was an excuse to make certain Aegon left Naerys alone as she recovered from a failed childbirth. Right, so the child dies. Naerys didn't. There he met Bellegere of Otherys. His affair with the Black Pearl continued for 10 years, though it was said that Bellegere had a husband in every port, and that Aegon was one of many. She gave birth to 3 children during the decade, 2 girls and a boy of doubtful paternity. So the children by the Black Pearl is Bellenora, Nartha, and Balerion, obviously named after Balerion the Dread, who was Aegon the Conqueror's biggest dragon. So Aegon's 5th mistress is Lady Barba Bracken, the vicarious dark-haired daughter of Lord Bracken of Stonehenge, and a companion to the 3 princesses in Maidenvault. Right, so Barbara Bracken, probably one of the most famous of the mistresses, because she was Aegon Rivers' mother, aka Bittersteel, very important during the Blackfire Rebellion. So, with Baelor the Blessed's death in 171, Viserys II ascended to the throne. The princesses were once again permitted male company. Obviously, Baelor the Blessed, very holy, very pious, into celibacy. He locked his sister's brides away in a tower, so no one could be tempted by their seduction. So they were released upon his death. Aegon, now the Prince of Dragonstone and heir apparent, so became entranced with 16-year-old Barba Bracken. On his own ascent in 172, he named her father as Hand of the King and openly took her as a mistress. She bore him a bastard only a fortnight before, his true-born twins, a stillborn boy and a girl, Daenerys, who survived, were delivered by Queen Naerys. With the Queen lingering near death, the Hand, Barba's father, talked openly of wedding his daughter to the king. After the Queen's recovery, this scandal became Barb's undoing, as young Prince Daeron and his uncle, the Dragon Knight, forced Aegon to send her and the bastards away. The boy, raised at Stonehenge by the Brackens, was called Aegon Rivers, but in time became known as Bittersteel. So that's Aegon Rivers' origin. Aegon Rivers' origin. Then there was Lady Melissa Blackwood, the best loved of the king's mistresses, both younger and prettier than Lady Barba, albeit far less buxom, as well as more modest. Missy had a kind heart. Her nickname was Missy, her name was Melissa. So Missy had a kind heart and generous nature that led even Queen Naerys herself, as well as the Dragon Knight and Prince Daeron, to befriend her during her 5 years of her reign. Missy bore the king 3 bastards, most notably the boy Bryden Rivers, later known as Bloodraven. Bloodraven obviously is the 3-eyed crow who Bran discovers far, far, far north. So she is the mother of Bloodraven. Children by Melissa Blackwood, Maya Gwens at Brendan. So there's Maya, Gwennis and Brendan, Bryden, aka Bloodraven. The next, the next mistress is Lady Bethany Bracken. Obviously, he had a thing for the Riverlands ladies. So this is Lady Barba's younger sister. Bethany was groomed by her father and sister expressively to win the king's favour and displace Missy Blackwood. I think the Brackens and the Blackwood have had a long old family feud. I don't think their families get on. So in 177 AC, she caught Aegon's eye as he visited at Stonehenge to see his bastard son, Aegon. By now the king was fat and foul-tempered, but Bethany delighted him, and he took her back with him to King's Landing. However, Bethany found his royal embraces distressing. For comfort she turned to the knight of the King's Guard, Sir Terence Toying. The pair was discovered The pair was discovered abed by Aegon himself in 178. Sir Terence was tortured to death, and bold Lady Bethany and her father were both executed. When Sir Terence's brother sought to avenge his death, Prince Aemon the Dragon Knight was slain while defending his brother, King Aegon. They had no children. Lady Jeyne Lothston, daughter of Lady Felena, the king's first mistress, by either Lord Lucas or the king himself. Jeyne was brought to court by her mother in 178, when she was 14. Aegon made Lord Lothston his new hand, and it was said, but never proved, that he enjoyed mother and daughter in the same bed. He soon gave Jeyne a pox he caught from the whores he'd been seeing after Lady Bethany's execution, and the Lothstons were all sent from the court again. And then the final mistress is Serenei of Liz, nickname Sweet Serenei, a Lycian beauty from an ancient but impoverished line, brought to court by Lord John Hightower, the New Hand. Serenei was the most beautiful of all of Aegon's mistresses, but she was also disputed to be a sorceress. She died giving birth to the last of the king's bastards, a girl named Shiera Seastar, who became the greatest beauty in all of the Seven Kingdoms, beloved of both her half-brothers Bittersteel and Bloodraven, whose rivalry would ripen to hatred. So, that's the story of Aegon the Unworthy and the 9 mistresses. So, none of them were particularly lucky, but obviously Serenei is very interesting. Her daughter Shiera Seastar was one of the 5 great bastards of Aegon, and she was known to bathe in virgin's blood and partake in blood magic to retain her beauty. Obviously, it was rumours, we don't know how true. The accounts of this book is in the name of like a maester, so again, we can't guarantee the accuracy. It's just interesting to talk about. Thanks very much if you watched.